Say hi to people. Welcome to the Artsy Knitter. This is a knitting podcast, but we talk about artsy things and we talk about kitty things and crafts and things like that. The main focus, though, is knitting, crocheting, spinning, so have no fear. But the artsy part of it is just how those artsy things
interact with each other.
Right, exactly. See, she knows. This is my assistant. I'm your host, Tru. That's my name, without an E. But on Ravelry, I'm known as Tru Dolly, Trudolly. So feel free to send me a friend request or add me to your friends, whatever you call it. And this is my special guest star, little one. Her name is Ava, and she's 9, and she's a new knitter and crocheter. New as in, I don't even know.
Well, crocheting was first.
Crocheting was first, but still, you know, all fiber-related things are still fairly new to her. I would say, did you start doing it before Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay, so before Christmas, I don't know an exact date, but we'll move forward. We want to keep this under 30 minutes, right? So, let's get right into it.
Okay.
She wants to say shenanigans, but that's not what we call it. We call it...
It's Artsy Escapades. I know, but it has an end.
I know. Okay, so for you to know what that is, it's shenanigans. What do we have? I don't know. We have escapades?
Yes!
Okay, what?
My birthday just passed.
Okay.
And I did just turn 9, of course. And
she has nothing to say. Dead air.
This week was my birthday week.
Yes, because I decided that we were going to celebrate and do a little something every day, except for one or two days here. But every day we'll do something interesting, or I'd give her a small gift instead of giving her one big gift. So what did I give?
You gave me yarn. You gave
her own needles, crochet as well as knitted.
Safety eyes.
Safety eyes we ordered, and you'll know why
and
as we get into
else.
Oh yeah, you'll see it. It's a doll sweater, but it'll come up in our Wippies. What else did we do? Today was an escapade all to itself. I don't know if it's artsy, but...
Oh my gosh, the snow! We had to go to the supermarket and then, shovel through the snow.
We didn't shovel. I guess you could say we shoveled through the snow. Okay, because it was, super warm yesterday and no real, major snow out there or anything, but at all. It was water was draining into the drainer. It was
a bunch.
Yeah, it was
There's a hole.
melting.
You couldn't even pass it.
Exactly. So what we did was artfully wrapped. That's probably where the artsiness comes from. We bundled ourselves today like nobody's business. Go from spring, I didn't have to wear gloves, to it's a blizzard. When I say a blizzard, since we got up, winds are blowing. I literally put on my coat, a hoodie, a hat, and then I had this really gigantic raincoat style, huge, man's raincoat, it's army green. And I put it over the coat to keep myself dry, because it was the biggest hoodie thing I have. And then we wrapped this one and pulled down, and we had eyes showing, and that's it. And then going there was great. It's coming back. It was oh.
Because the wind was blowing this way.
I know, it was crazy. Anyway, that was our escapades. That's 4 minutes of escapades. That's pretty good. Yeah. So anyway, getting right into the nitty gritty. What are my Wippies? AKA what's on the needles? Wippies! Wippies! I'm going to get into my Wippies first. So, I don't have any knitted socks. I know, you gasp. You're like, you're doing a podcast. What? How long you been knitting? You don't have socks? I had other priorities, okay, people? Other fashion priorities I did. So on my amazing chow goose with the needles have just fallen off. But it doesn't matter because I have to pull them out. So me, squinging right now means nothing. So I am knitting Regia. Let's see if we can get this scene. Regia. Sonata or Sonato, I'm not sure. Color. I'll put it in the show notes. It's fingering 462 yards. It's wool, because I think it is a German yarn. 75% wool and 25% nylon. So that is the label for my yarn, and it is so gorgeous. It is, okay, so if you didn't know, now you know. Blue, multiple shades of blue.
Purpley.
Well, wait. Let me talk. You got your tongue coming, okay? Blue, all kinds of blue is my favorite. I was talking about my favorite, not the yarn yet. Turquoise is my favorite, and teal. Those two, like the light turquoise and the dark teal. Those are my two favorite blues. So you'll tend to see a lot of blue in the knitting that I do. So this yarn called to me because it has purple, which I also love. It's another secondary. Anything like purple, eggplant, magenta, which I called fuchsia and purple together is what I call magenta. It's like a purple with more hot pink inside of it than not. So that's how I define magenta. If somebody else disagrees, if somebody else has other ideas of what magenta is, let me know. But this yarn kind of has that. Ooh, I don't want to hold it too far. Ooh. You need to be able to see it, right?
It's kind of showing up.
Yeah. I don't know if that really... What I'll do is maybe I'll take a picture. Oh, there it is. That kind of looks like it would be it. Okay, so I'm doing 2 at a time on the size needles, 2 millimeters. And why they're dangling like this is because I had to frog them. My feet are super narrow, but super huge. Kind of like the same issues as a hand thing that I talked about in my last episode. So what I decided to do was, if you don't know about her, you should know. Her name is Liat Gat. I would think she's French, but she's not. I don't think so. You know, I saw this thing and, you know, I don't hear an accent and so on. But it's Liat, and then her last name is Gat. Pretty simple. She's tons of YouTube videos. And she has a recipe for toe-up socks. And I think top down. And what you do is take that recipe and apply it to the pattern that you want to knit. So I'm doing Rye, the awesome TinCanknits Rye socks. And I'm using Liat's fingering weight recipe. So you have to join her knitfreedom.com site in order to get that recipe. It's free, but still, you know, not technically free. You gotta give your email. That's the cows. And then once I go up in my increase, then I start to get into the pattern of the Rye after that. So I had to frog it because it's still too wide. My feet are super narrow, but I wear size 11, which is like 9 men or 9.5 men, I think. I don't even know. So I'm very, very sad about that. But c'est la vie. And I'm just using shoe bags for my project bags at this point because I'm waiting, one, to get a fat squirrel bag. I'm dying for a really great polka dot bag, kind of like the way my curtains look, maybe with some white trim, just like this, but smaller. Anyway, yeah, so those are my socks. So that's my first whippy. My second whippy is my what I call the tri-vest. I talked about in my last episode. My tripartite. I don't know how to say this, okay, Stephen? I am so sorry. I apologize. I don't know how to say this. Assistant, may you pass the other end, please? So what you saw the last week, just so you know, I have had progress. Don't think I haven't had progress. This is what I showed you last week. Right? There's stuff all over. Let me hold it upside down now. So that's it upside down. I'm assuming that's the arm hole thingy.
That other one that connects to it.
Yeah, well, of course. So, and then this is like, ooh, that's so beautiful. But this yarn is the amazing Zen Yard Garden. Let's see here. The Serenity Silk. When I say amazing, it's Zen Yard Yarn. I always try, it sounds like I'm saying yard, but it's yarn. Zen Yarn Garden, Serenity Silk Plus, 75 Super Rush Merino, 15% cashmere, 10% silk. It is 500 yards. I'm not even sure if I said that the last time, but I showed you the label, and it's in the project notes. You've seen her label. If you don't, you need to buy some of her yarn. If I'm not mistaken, she's Canadian. Is she Canadian? I feel deep down, I sent her a friend request, and she accepted. I'm so excited about that. You would think that because she did, I would know that she's Canadian. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let's do a quick check right now. I actually sent the request to her, her personal Ravelry. Yeah, she's from Ontario. Super, yeah, I'm pretty sure I remembered that. Anyway, and on the needles, look how far I've gotten. I don't think I even cast it on when I last did when I first did my first episode. So it feels like I have thread everywhere, right? So I do have one lifeline inside. Sorry, I know, I'm discombobulated here. There it is. So I'm almost done this side, as you can see. Hold up that little part here, right here.
Right there.
See, and there's the armhole again. That's how much I've done since last week, the entire side. So I think this is the left side, because you start with the right side. You'll see in the pattern. And then you knit a collar, and you graft all three pieces together. And this is a piece that you can wear upside down, right side up, all these different ways, which is why I like it, because it is an artsy piece. And the colors that I chose, I was worried about the colorway, but it's going to come out amazing. And my last,
Whoopee.
well, yeah, because the fourth one I'm going to show you, it is going to come off the needles in 2 seconds while Ava's talking about her stuff. Okay, stand up, mademoiselle. I'm doing photo shoots, and so I'm making some of the props. Now she has a bow in her hair right now that I crocheted, so you can't see the fabulousness of what I'm doing. But imagine a pixie hat, and then this is gonna go up into a point, and I've been winging it. This is super chunky yarn by yeah, it's pretty. You want to hold that up? That yarn hug. Can you be Bellatura de Croza? Croza? Fancy? It's like super bulky. I don't even know. It's 100% wool. And it's 44 yards. That's how chunky it is. You know, chunky yarns or bulky yarns usually have a little bit in it. I'm very excited about that.
Almost the thickness of my finger.
Almost the thickness of this child's finger. Okay? Craziness. And before we get into Miss Little One's Wippies, you can put that down, my dear. I have been doing the, oh geez, this feels like it's almost been falling off the needle here, so I'm a little bit nervous about what I envisioned for this. But what I've been doing is using, I don't know if people knew this before, but I found a video where when you're binding off, you literally just replace this with the other end of your needle, like as if it was the other needle. This is a crochet hook, and you knit like normal, and then instead of having to like slip the stitch over the other one and then keep going, which seems to be slower for me, I would just use the crochet needle to pull it through. Especially when you're doing super stretchy bind off and you have to slip over 2 stitches. And so when I literally finish this little section, it'll be done. Maybe I'll try to sort that out while Miss Thing is talking about hers. So in Little One's Corner, she's going to talk about her Wippies while I try to fix a disaster.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is this little...
Oops, sorry for the bump. I'm so sorry.
The project bag my mom made for Christmas. And it's a cupcake. And you just pull, like, the string.
We're at 15 minutes. These people are going to kill us.
And I like to say, whenever I take something out, my project bag, or I should say my cupcake, is exploding! Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. And this orange... Sorry. This orange, I'm doing feet.
Well, what's the name of your first Whippy?
The name of my first Whippy is, well, Monster Chunks.
Monster Chunks.
And I'll give an example. This is mine. And this is like, it's probably like...
It's a turquoise. But this is the body part of the monster chunk. And if you notice, we have the 9mm eyes in, because I wasn't sure what kind to buy. I can put the link for the Etsy store that we get it, but most people know about it. 6060X Etsy or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's Barocco yarn that she's using. And the orange that's on the needles,
my Whippy, is
Mary Maxim's Starlet. It's pretty soft. And that's the company I was telling you about that's here in Toronto, online as well.
And I've been having a little bit of problems with it.
Well, those are size 3 needles. This yarn is probably meant for two times the size, so that does make a difference.
One side was unraveling and blah, 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 and all this stuff. But it's actually doing well, and this is Magic Loop.
That's right. You heard it. My kid is doing Magic Loop. It is possible. I had one person say, oh, she's such an overachiever. I'm like, no, Jay's not. It's not bad. It's good. So anyway.
Magic Loop, I can do this.
Pretty much. So, yeah.
And
so, the Monster Chunks are by Rebecca Danger. If you don't know, now you know, because you should know. She's awesome. She's a rock star.
And my mom made a rainbow one. And
that's Mary Maxim as well in the lollipop yarn. I think it's Mary Maxim.
And it's acrylic.
Yeah, I know. Acrylic, but it's okay.
And I like the different colors in her. And this is how it comes. For somehow possible way, my mom skipped the orange from it.
No, I didn't get to that part. But anyway, we were thinking, she's decided that she wanted this to be a twin of some sort.
I'll tell you the things behind them, how they can be twins.
We don't have a lot of time. It's 20 minutes almost already. We have 10 more minutes to talk. So, we are going to make the legs. This is what we came up with because she wanted this one. The body was done first. So, we're going to have one blue leg and one orange leg. And then on her blue one, we're going to have a striped leg and an orange leg.
Yeah.
And that kind of connects the both of them, I think. That's what we're going to do.
And also... But yeah, I like that. And I have something to show with that later on. My next Whippy is really just like a practice thing. I started just knitting it. It's a little discombobulated. But I started knitting it, and then I started doing like
what does this look
on the
like?
top.
You know what it's called.
Mine logged.
her brain already. 9 years old, and she just said it 2 seconds ago. It starts with S. I'm not even going to say this for you. So we're going to move right along. The yarn that she's using is Koigu. I don't know the colorway. Koigu. She likes saying that. Next thing that you got. One of the things that we got, though, with the Rebecca Danger Animal things is show the book that you got. I do recommend this book. It is so clean and clear. Let me hold baby.
If you can, it's called Knitted Monsters, the big book of knitted monsters.
By Rebecca Danger. And maybe show one pattern in there that we've marked that you really like.
Oh, okay, I'll show this one.
That's why she's learning how to do magic loop. So if you notice what I'm doing now, I'm literally just knitting, and then instead of trying to slip the stitch over, I'm just pulling it through. So and it's a seed stitch on here, so I have to be careful what I'm doing.
If you're a beginner knitter like me, you would go for this one.
The canister monster called the Coco. So show it carefully and stand up so that they can see. And let the camera focus. There we go. All right.
I'm going to do the smallest one.
Yeah.
And if you were a bigger knitter and you knitted more things, you can knit this one.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
It's called
Lily. Next.
Mama Baby Monsters.
Yes, Mama Baby Monsters.
Mama
and Baby Monsters. So there we go. And so for Christmas, she got an American Girl doll and American Girl doll. And the type of American Girl doll is a historical one, not the regular kind. And her name is
Cecile. I'm not sure if I'm gonna change her name to other than that. I'm gonna make up one, but this is a finished one.
So her first crochet finished object is in Noro.
It's a scarf, and it took forever.
What happened?
The wonky thing, and I say wonky for a reason. If you can see, it's one end is thick and one end is thin, and the reason why that is because I started knitting in the same loop 3 times, and then it turned to 10, 5, 8, 11, 12. And back here I think it's 8 again. So, it's a pattern.
Design element.
Yeah.
This is what we're going with.
I totally meant to do that.
Oops. So, yeah, already. She's like, yeah, I did and I had to fix it. And then she wanted to be done already, and I was like, the orange up here needs to connect with the colors. And so I decided to do just that little part. But she basically finished it. So this yarn was gifted to us kindly for her to do this piece because by a store. They didn't want any acrylic yarn in that store. The owner really detests acrylic. Anyway, I don't blame her. It's one of those things. You sell yarn, you want acrylic yarn up in your store. Makes sense. All right, so did we show how it looks on her? There we go. Oh, she's all cozy. And I winged this pattern, but I winged this part of it, the crochet, but I will put up and I made the sleeves shorter, and it's in acrylic yarn as well. I just don't think of making doll clothes should be in fancy yarn. That I'm going to make her a matching sweater, because American Girl, they always have these matching clothes, and it's super expensive, la la la. So I found another Mary Maxim in Fresh. It's I think it's called Mary Maxim Fresh, and she's going to show you. And hold it very still. There we go. And it's like a taupe color. And in case you're wondering, Cecile, that's the historical dress that she comes in. So, and these books, actually, she comes with her own series, I think of 6 books. This is one of them. The Cameo Necklace. Really good stories. I really appreciate American Girl for that. They have a great selection of books. So I think I just finished the, well, I cut it. If I'm not finished, then too bad. I have to start again. No, probably not. But this is my first finished object. Now, I did the measurements for this. It just wasn't, yeah. I'm just going to be happy because the yarn is so sublime that there's no point in being upset that the measurements were off. I got help with it, and I was so grateful for that help that's what I want to focus on. So I did the measurements for with the pattern. This is a featherweight for my bust. But as you can tell, I'm a bit busty, but I'm a small girl. And so whatever they compensated for, oh, somebody of this bust size has this size back, wasn't me. So there's so much fabric. But I didn't want to do the ribbing, and I'll show you the pattern on this pattern for the collar and the sleeves. It's like a ribbed, I hope you can see that. And it is a pattern done, the Featherweight Cardigan by Hannah Fittig, F-E-T-T-I-G is my guess. And so I'll show you really quickly what that looks like. It's really, really a lot of fabric in the back. Sorry for the butt shot. I'm in black, so you can't really see me too much. And I'll move this light away so you can see a little bit better. But if you notice, I did seed stitch here and along the sleeves, and I haven't blocked this yet, so you know, it's meant to just hang, so I figured I'm not going to worry about it too much. Not really. So, that's that. What?
Oh, that.
So, one of my other finished objects, I got this yarn gifted to me as well. And bless her heart, I was like, what am I going to do with this yarn? It's not even soft. But I loved it. The color was amazing. And I was like, yes, thank you. So I was told that once I block this and soak it, it's going to be soft. So I'm so grateful for this yarn. This, maybe I'll model it in Mademoiselle. Stand up, my dear. This is the Storm Cloud Shawlette. She'll turn around. And I did extra stitches for the ruffling. Sorry for the color change on this video, but anyway. And it's what the designer calls elongated garter stitch. So when I got down to the last increase, I literally just knitted front to back, I think, for every single stitch, and that's why I have a lot more ruffles on the piece. So it's done by Hannah Breeze. I want to say Breeze. It's B-R-E-E-T-Z. I'll put it in the show notes. See, just like on her. It looks so sweet. Yeah. So there we go. You want to sit in that? You look so lovely. But my other finished object, because I'm trying to knit a lot of stuff for my photo shoot that I had, some ideas that I have going, and I want to kind of get them going. So I wanted to be I wanted to be more involved. Like when I do fashion shoots, a stylist takes care of everything, a lot of stuff. But because I have a fashion history, I like to get in there. And so you'll see on my project notes, this is the fashion braid. There, it's a little bit less glary. And it's done by Jen Geely, G-E-I-G-L-E-Y. So you'll see her version of it. There it is, in gray. I chose to have a pop of red because the thing is red hot. And I'm like, yee! So I did that in Barocco. Actually, no, I thought it was Barocco, but it was a gifted yarn to me as well, and I don't know. It feels like it looks like it should be Barocco in red, but it's much softer than Barocco, so I know it's probably a nicer yarn. And I don't know if I mentioned my featherweight is in Mad Tosh. I call it Mad Tosh, but it's Madeline Tosh. Mad Tosh in the fragrant colorway. So it's a very pink tan with subtle pieces of like caramely chocolate. Not even chocolate, caramel. I would say pink and caramel together. So that's a colorway on this. And it is the Madeline Tosh Light that I did this piece in. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I think that is pretty much all my finished objects. Yay! Hold on.
Oh.
One of the things that with the bonnet, I made shift that idea, and I'm kind of knitting it as I go. I can make a pattern and put the pattern on my project notes, but what I did was I kind of like based it on this doll bonnet, and I'll show you. It's a bonnet for Pookie Fee, size BJD by Samantha. I can't say her last name, so I'm not even going to try.
Pookie Fee.
I know. My daughter, see the style of it? Now it's not going to be as open on Ava, but the idea is this. So I based it on that. And yeah, I'll just try and put it in the notes, kind of like how many stitches I started with. I kind of feel like I wish it was a little bit longer for her, but that's okay. I have some ideas of what I'm going to do. And then when I have that shot, I'm going to put it up, and you'll be able to see the photo shoot and the end result. So.
And should I show that first?
Show which? Just show the monster.
Okay.
We don't have a lot more time. She wants to show artsy things. I was like, we should be showing artsy things. We'll show one quick artsy thing at the end. One of the things that while she's getting that stuff organized, this section called Whoa Newbie. If you didn't know, now you need to know. One of the things I had been on Ravelry, I'm using Ravelry quite a bit. It's not like I just pop in and out. I've been using it, and I didn't know, one, that when you go into the project notes of a pattern, you can click on, right at the above, there's these things that you can select. I just ignored that, but I was just mesmerized by the projects other people were doing. I didn't notice. You can choose to find the projects that have helpful notes. I used to only use a section where I'd write in a yarn or a weight or something if I wanted to bring up the notes. Say the pattern was done in DK and I wanted to see if anybody had done it in fingering. I'd write in fingering, but I didn't know I could select a filter for helpful notes. So, whoa newbie, you need to know that. The other thing you need to know is this came out a while back, but it's something I discovered. That on Ravelry, there is, right at the front page, when you click on patterns, look further down in the middle-ish, there's a section for where they recommend things to you. Like, it's called Your Highlights, I think. And they show you weekly new patterns that have been added each day, based on things that are like things that you favorited, people that you're friends with, designers that you favorited, things like that. So things that you wouldn't have normally noticed, new stuff. And every day they do that. So I go in there and check, and I discover patterns that I wouldn't have seen. So if you knew about it, and you're a veteran, and you didn't realize you haven't gone there in a while, go check it out. If you're a newbie, and you're just going on there, or maybe you're just watching me on YouTube, and you have not even been on Ravelry yet, and you're a knitter, I implore you, sign up on Ravelry, make a profile, and the first group you look for is the Artsy Knitter. No, I'm just kidding. There's tons more. Like the Fat Squirrel Speaks. You do that first. Okay? Then In a Snit, then Homespun is my favorite. Then maybe me. This is a little bit. Because we've got 8 so far. 8 members. And it's only my second episode. Maybe by the third I'll have 16. I don't know. But anyway, as we sign out, she wants to show you the compilation she's done with these twin monster chunks by Rebecca Danger. This sweater is not knitted by us. It's an Etsy seller, and it's a Domo. Yeah, Domo style sweater. I just really love. It's for my Blythe dolls.
But when I roll it in, tuck this and tuck that, it makes, let's see,
a supersized morphed monster.
She has her little purse here, and
that way. There
the other one only has one tail, and it's blue.
I think she's inside.
She's inside here.
And this hat was something I knitted for my girls, so that's probably why. But I thought that was such a cute morphing of two monsters.
And I used like a little cup of some sort.
It's like a little cupcake cup thing to hold jewelry.
But I used the bottom.
Yeah.
And it turned out good.
So that's what she did with her monsters. So you want to show your one artsy thing before we sign out? Because it's 37 minutes and I tried to keep my word. That's why it sounds like I'm talking so fast.
Okay. So
these things are called, I'll show the box. And you
they are called
Fun Fusions.
But they're really called melting beads.
Melting beads, but this, I think the brand that I bought, the bucket size, it's called the Fancy Fashion, is called Fun Fusion. This is such a great activity for your kids. I think there's 6,000 in here, it says on here. 6,000, and then the plate mats for like a bag and a shoe inside. Go ahead and show. This is something else she had done before.
Before, when I was at another place.
You could like set it up on that. Any design color you want and make a little fashion handbag.
And a parrot I made. It's a little broken. There was like a green part there. But it's so cute. If I can, like...
It's a really good activity for kids. So she has a few set up, more that she's made. But if you want to have something cool that they can kind of sit quietly and do on their own, I'm all about kids learning to not just interact with you, but to learn to enjoy their own space and to do something crafty on their own as well. And since she's showing something, I was like, okay, I guess I'll show something artsy. I mentioned that I do encaustic painting. That's done with wax. Let me see if I hold it like this. You can see how shiny it is and textured. And then inside is a collage that I sliced. I do collages like this. Sometimes I slice the pieces and rearrange them. But I just separated her and put her into the wax and then heated over her and then scraped back and all this stuff. And like this is multiple layers, starting with white, and then there's purple, there's blue, then there's indigo. And
it looks like yellow.
No, it's actually just the white and clear. Like the beeswax can be yellowish to some degree. And this is just on a standard, what I think is a 10 by 10 or 12 by 12 size wooden board. And I'm setting up to get all the pieces and things that I need to continue them at my house. This was done on one of my art days. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to sell it in my Etsy store. I have an Etsy shop. But we'll see. But I really love her, and she's one of a few. Actually, if you pass the other one, the first one I ever did has fiber in it, so it's related. See, fiber can be used in all these different ways. This was my very first encaustic, so it's painting with wax and fusing with a hot iron. And I don't know if you guys have ever used those hankies. Those fiber hankies. I took off a thin layer right here. All of this is fiber. And it just says be. Like instead of becoming great or becoming artistic or being more this or being more that, just be it. If you decided that you wanted to be more artsy in your life, what would an artsy person do? What would a creative person do? I would make time to do this, and I would paint, and I would do it on Sundays, and I'd make a schedule. So do that. That's my tip for today. I'll see you again in our next episode. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for spending time with us. My name again is True Dolly. Come and join our group. Get into the conversation, and ask some questions. There's a section there sticky for questions as well. All right. Ciao. Bye.